All right, so hi, my name is Andrew Hewitt. I'm the founder and CEO of YohDev, and we are a full stack engineering firm, tech partner, and we're a practitioner of this. Me personally, 10 years in the business plus. My team, average experience, 25 plus. We have leaders from brands like Merrill Lynch, Bed Bath & Beyond, State Farm, working on our team. So we have experience at the enterprise level all the way down to startups and founder-led companies. 10 years, one obsession, it hasn't changed for me and my team, building digital infrastructure that actually holds up. So as I mentioned, 10 years in business, 25 plus average experience per team member, 100 plus projects shipped, all US-based engineers. And we like to say that we're engineering first, but creative by nature. Everything we build is intentional. It's going to scale, it's going to be maintainable, it's going to be valuable. So like when you sell, like your tech's actually an asset, it's not a liability, it's not full of tech debt when a PE firm comes in and audits your tech. So everything we do is there, but then we're also creative. So I'm big in sales and marketing industry. I work with a lot of big creative agencies, New York City, LA, lots of big ones right here in North Carolina as well. So working with brands at the highest level on a creative front too, we have a lot of that experience. So why I'm up here, not to sell you anything, not to tell you AI is going to change everything, because we've heard that. It's been the message for the past couple years now. I'm here because we've been in the room for a decade and more before AI was the topic, and we have a perspective worth sharing. So I'm going to go into what we're actually doing, what we're seeing, and a few things we're betting on that might be wrong. So here's the environment that we're operating in, and this is what we see. So $30 to $40 billion spent on enterprise AI pilots last year. Negative 5% delivered measurable revenue impact. 42% of companies abandoned AI initiatives, up from 17% the year before. So is it worth the investment? That's the big question right now. We've watched this actually happen with clients. They got it really gung-ho on AI, really excited, started firing all their agencies and experts and stuff, and tanked. And they saw these similar types of numbers, but just at a smaller scale, because we work with enterprises at consulting level sometimes, but our primary clients are small businesses and mid-sized businesses that are in high growth environments. So this isn't theory for us, like these are by the facts, and it's actually what's going on in the industry. So $62 million in 4 years for IBM Watson and MD Anderson. 0 patients are actually treated with that investment. The AI wasn't the problem. The data was unstructured, and legacy EMR was never designed to feed it. They skipped the foundational piece. They tried to go right to the execution, right to the AI layer, use the tools right away, give the employees the tools, and it literally just wasted them $62 million. Zillow, $500 million plus in losses, the program completely shut down. Pricing algorithm fed on 30-day-old marketing, or making 30-day-old data, making real-time decisions. The model was fine. The data pipeline was broken. So you typically have all these systems that all have data in these big companies. Having those proper data pipelines so that it's consistent real-time data was the issue there. The AI was great. It did its job when the conditions were perfect. Klarna replaced 700 humans. This is the one that's funny. Replaced 700 humans. Now they're hiring them all back. Optimized for cost and got it. Customer satisfaction collapsed. AI infrastructure augments. It doesn't replace judgment. The common thread isn't bad AI, it's unprepared infrastructure. So this is what we've watched. Your team is already using AI. Everybody here already said, hey, we're using it. You probably don't even know how they're using it though. That's probably one of the biggest problems for businesses of this size. 75 to 90% of knowledge workers use AI at work, and only 16% use their employer's sanctioned tools. So what that means is, you have individual employees out there using Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever, and they're all just in their own individual accounts under your company's domain. It's not actually sanctioned, governed, controlled, scaled. It's a mess. And imagine a tech firm like me, or even one that's like 10x bigger than me, coming in to audit your business and be like, yo, like you have a tech debt problem here, and you have a context issue with your data and your AI implementation it's going to cost you X amount of millions of dollars to fix it. So you don't want to be in that situation. We've seen this up close. Someone on your team's pasting client data into ChatGPT to summarize a call. Someone else is using Claude to draft proposals and confidential pricing inside. You don't know if they're using confidential client information in the AI. This isn't a people problem. It's a process and policy vacuum, and it creates liability that nobody has budgeted for. So here's what we actually do at YohDev on our own work and with our clients. So how AI shows up in our work, this is through our lens. So I tried to make this not as technical, but you'll see the business functions on how we use this. So code reviews and generation. Claude, GitHub Copilot are in every developer's workflow. We review every output. We don't ship AI-generated code without human checks and our automated testing that we've been actually doing for decades. It's been available. Like, you can have your code and your tools automatically tested. That's a technology that's been around forever. Discovery and research, summarizing RFPs, competitive research, client industry briefings. Hours become minutes, but the judgment call is still ours. Proposal drafting, first drafts proposal, scope documents, project briefs. AI starts it, a senior finishes it. Client communication, drafting status updates, meeting summaries, follow-up emails. We move faster and write better than we did 3 years ago. Internal documentation, every project ships with AI-assisted docs. Onboarding's faster for our clients. Knowledge transfer has stopped becoming a crisis and a runaround at the end. It's just an easy handoff. And the knowledge, now that since we create the knowledge for the client, their AI models and systems have our expertise baked into their knowledge. So what's working and what's not that we're seeing? So speed on well-defined bounded tasks, great. Like, so much return on investment there. Drafting anything that follows a pattern, like to Corey's point, skills, repeatable things that have patterns that AI can easily execute and get better at and just continue to crush those skills. Making junior work feel more senior. So we're not in the boat of, hey, juniors are toast, like they don't have a future, because I think that means that we don't have a future as humanity. So you find a really good junior and you train them up, and they have dual capabilities. Like, they might be really good personal skills, they got the technical know-how, but now with AI, they can do multiple capabilities at more of a higher level for a lower cost, and they're getting great experience along the way. Cutting our research time by 60-70%, huge. Code in languages where we're not experts. So like, we're experts in infrastructure, best practices, and we understand programming to its core. So what that means is, if we take one language that we're really expert in and it's very similar to another one, we can understand it because we can read the languages and know what it's doing, but we don't have to be experts in it to execute it. So that's a really big win there. Where it's not working, anything requiring real client context, novel architecture decisions, which basically means like, what resources do we want to use to deploy this application? Like, Claude can make recommendations, but do you know what decision to make there? Like, are you going to pick this pipeline to run this process? Are you going to do this? What kind of database are you going to do? Like those types of things. Long projects without human checkpoints. We cannot do a full project, almost like, there has to be those human checkpoints. It's almost impossible to do that. People are trying it, believe it or not, but it's failing. Replacing the senior judgment call. It's never going to be able to, make a better final decision on facts and data than my engineering manager, Greg, who has 30 plus years in the industry. Like, I'm always going to go with his recommendation on how to do things. And then governance. You still need a human owning it, and you need somebody who really defines those guardrails and make sure that the AI doesn't fall outside of those. Where we think this all is heading, not predictions, but these are bets that I'm making and our team's making on our own business. Bet one, nobody wins the model war, build for that. Anthropic went from 0 to 40% enterprise LLM spend in 24 months. OpenAI dropped from 50% to 27% in the same window. Open weight models now match GPT-4 quality at 90% lower cost. Our take on this is and we all felt this, like we talked about this in our group before. we're all on ChatGPT, then all of a sudden it's a flood to Claude. Okay, well, what's the next one? What happens if you invest all your time and processes and resources into Claude-locked environments, and then the next big thing comes out, and then you're stuck? Because what our take is, we build a model agnostic framework specifically using Google Cloud's agent development kit. It's open source. It runs Gemini natively, but it routes to Claude, GPT, Mistral, Llama, any of the models out there, ones that are completely free in most cases, and you're just paying for the resource utilization. So, think USB-C, but for your business's resources that are firing these operations. So like a USB-C charger can get plugged into multiple devices. That's what your infrastructure that lies underneath your AI layer needs to be. You need to be able to hot swap models out, but not lose all that infrastructure work, all those skills you've been working on in Claude that you click that save button. No offense, Corey, but you click that save button, it's stuck in Claude. There's ways to get it out, but it's going to be painful to move it when you have to move. So that's where we really strive here with this bet. Bet number 2. Agents are the shift, chats were just the warm-up. So the chat era, and a lot of you are probably in the chat era, it suggests you decide 5 to 10% productivity lift, one task, one model, you're always in the loop, still here, still useful. The agent era plans, executes, reports back, 20 to 50% operational change, multi-step, multi-model, multi-tooling. There should be one that says multi-cloud there too. And there's definitely going to be a multi-cloud strategy that'll have to happen to scale. And then you define guardrails that it operates within. This is where we're building towards. And this is how we're building our company, and we're helping some clients do this as well. What we're actually experimenting with right now in that agent era, automated project handoff. So an agent that reads a completed ticket, writes the handoff doc, pings the next person without anyone asking it to do it. Client-facing AI briefing, a structured agent that surfaces project statuses, answers scope questions, and escalates when something needs human, not a chatbot, an actual workflow that runs in a pipeline. And then governance and shadow AI monitoring, tooling that actually surfaces when AI is being used in client data workflows without a policy behind it, or even better yet, someone that's been trying to go against your policies, and you get flags and you can kind of like get a report on like, hey, this person tried to upload X amount of personal data, etc. So bet number 3, the infrastructure gap is the actual opportunity right now in the market. So only 4% of organizations say their data is actually AI ready. 78% of enterprises struggle to integrate AI with their existing systems, and then 68% still depend on legacy systems for their core operations. The tools are commoditizing, the infrastructure work is not. So everyone's selling the top of the AI stack right now, prompts, co-pilots, automation layers. The market is crowded right now, and it's getting cheaper every month. The middle, which is the data infrastructure, legacy modernization, agent orchestration, and governance, is the play for companies like myself when we're going up against other companies that are skipping that step. So how could we move fast on all this? Because one, we're an engineering first culture, so we never let a tool become a crutch. Every decision routes back to what's the architecture here? Like, how can we control how we can build, scale, and maintain this over time so it's a valuable asset? The product side was defined. So from the beginning, I always knew that YohDev eventually had to be a hybrid company where we're doing services and we have a product. So we've been doing that from the beginning, and now it's been just accelerated because we have all that framework in place, and now AI is allowing us to get to product much faster. Service side was documented, so we have clear processes. AI amplifies this, so how we use our ticketing system, how we communicate with clients, how we deliver projects, all that stuff was super tight in a Confluence knowledge base, and it's getting even tighter because AI is managing that knowledge base for us. And then we can reference that and pull from that knowledge base to save tokens when you're like, if you tell Claude, hey, do this X, Y, Z, it has to do, okay, it's going to query, it's going to do a search, it's going to do all these things, it's going to waste all these tokens, wasting more money. But if you have a mapping file that says, hey, this particular skill, you're going to hit our Confluence parent page here, and then all the information you need is found in the sub pages that are attached to that page. It gets it, boom, comes back almost right away. So that's how we're leveraging the service side documentation. And then our data wasn't scattered, so our project data, client data, operational data all lived in a system that could be queried. It's not all in like random spreadsheets or different tools that all of our employees use the same tools. So it made it really easy for us to move quick on this. So just a big note here, and if this is the only takeaway, I hope that, because I think this is the most valuable one. AI amplifies what's already there. If what's already there is clean, documented, and connected, AI makes it faster, more efficient. You get ROI almost immediately. If what's already there is fragmented, undocumented, and disconnected, AI actually makes it worse, faster. So you have to, I'm all about cost savings, efficiencies, and like getting in there and going with the AI. But just note, like if you have like employees and you have a business and like you're trying to scale and grow, if you know you already lack that area, AI is only going to make it worse, and it's going to make your tech debt even worse too. So that's it. Like that's our whole thesis there. So we built something to help, and it's called a AI Readiness Assessment. So it's completely free. It takes about 12 minutes. It covers 5 dimensions: data, systems, process, governance, and talent. At the end, you get a score across all 5. And the top 3 things to address first. If you want to talk through, we're happy to, but you can let me know about this. It is in beta right now, so I'll show you a quick demo what the assessment looks like, but you would have to just sign up and wait until it's ready for me to release it.